Hey everyone! Thank you so much for tuning in to another vlog. If you celebrate Easter in any way, I hope you're having a great Easter. And if not, then I hope your April is going very well. Um, so this is the first time that I've ever posted two videos on the same day. And that's because the vlog and the song I posted are so deeply intertwined. Like I said in a previous video, I grew up Catholic. And to be clear, I am definitely no longer Catholic, as there are many beliefs that I do not share with the institution of Catholicism. But I still have the Catholic calendar. I still have the Catholic calendar just ingrained in my brain after many years of Catholic school. And I do still choose to reflect on certain Catholic holidays because of what those holidays mean for me in my own spiritual practice. One of the holidays that I still celebrate in my own way is Easter. So I was thinking about Easter and resurrection, and as I was thinking about that, a very specific song came to me, the Prayer of St. Francis, which is the song that I posted today. I grew up singing the hymnal version of that song my entire childhood, because again, Catholic school, but the rendition that is my favorite was done by Sarah McLachlan. Part of why I was thinking about that specific rendition is because it took me back to the first time I heard Sarah McLachlan's version, almost 20 years ago. The song came to me during a pivotal moment in my life, when I also had to find a way to resurrect myself and to start my life over again. So I first heard Sarah McLachlan's rendition of the Prayer of St. Francis on a TV show, because, of course, it's me, and everything always somehow relates back to television. The song was featured on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 6, which ended up being my favorite season of all time, by the way, still true to this day. I didn't know it at the time that it would become my favorite season, because when I first started watching it, I was only watching whatever random reruns that happened to be shown on the weekends. Because at that time in my life, pretty much the only thing that I was doing was watching reruns on my cheap little TV. It got like 4 channels. Because the reruns were the only thing that brought me any tiny bit of happiness at the time. I had just graduated from college in 2005 and was unexpectedly going through one of the worst depressions of my life. I had planned to graduate college that year with a brand new degree in psychology, thinking that I would then go on to graduate school to get my master's in social work to become a social worker. This was the master plan. The only problem was that I realized about a month before I graduated college that I really didn't want to become a social worker. I really, really didn't want to go to graduate school, and I didn't even want to use my psychology degree anymore. So everything that I had been working for about 4 years disintegrated over the course of about a month. It felt like a huge identity crisis, which of course only drove the depression spiral deeper. So hence all the watching of Saturday reruns of Buffy. Since at that time I had nothing but time and depression to fill my days, I was on board for whatever Buffy was doing. And as quick backstory, if you aren't familiar with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I quickly learned that Buffy is a young woman with superhuman strength, and she slays vampires. So when I first saw it, I was like, yeah, they did good job naming it. Good job naming. Good job with the title. What I didn't know is that at the end of season 5, Buffy dies saving the world from a supernatural catastrophe. So starting in season 6, Buffy's friends bring her back from the dead through witchcraft and magic. And Buffy's story for all of season 6 is her wrestling with who she was before they brought her back, versus who she is now in this new life, and if she even wants to live anymore, given how much everything has changed. So of course, I was immediately hooked by this. There was vampires and magic, and it also felt like I was watching my own story unfold right across the television. although Buffy had way better lighting and fancier shoes. Um, but watching Buffy deal with trying to get a day job while being a vampire slayer, and having friends who are going through their own trauma and addictions, and facing the consequences of what happens when humans, not just supernatural creatures, but when humans are violent and destructive. That all made me feel less alone, as if, I was not alone in facing my own real world big bad foes. And so it was during the season finale that Buffy finally realizes that despite all the big bad things that the real world holds, she does still want to have this life. And it may not be the life that she had before she was brought back, and she may never ever be that same person again. But her new life does have meaning. It has whatever meaning that she chooses to give it, and that's worth fighting for. So in the ending scene of season 6, after having fought off all these underground tomb monsters, Buffy is literally clawing herself up out of a cave through the cracks in the earth and back into the world. And it's during this scene that Sarah McLachlan's version of the Prayer of St. Francis is playing. So of course, the first time that I'm watching it, in my tiny little basement apartment on my blow-up futon mattress, I am just full on crying, just sobbing. And I'm crying because the song is beautiful and I'd never heard anything like that rendition before. I'm crying because of all the ways that the world still feels really big and really bad. But I'm also crying because this scene made me feel a little bit more hopeful. And to be clear, I was still struggling and would continue to struggle with depression and with feeling lost. But in the days and the months that followed, when I felt like giving up, I literally thought to myself, if Buffy can figure out how to slay vampires and save the world and get a day job, surely I can do one of those 3 things. One of those 3 things. And during her day job at the Double Meat Palace drive-thru, she had to both see her ex-boyfriend with his new girlfriend, and she had to fight a demon lamprey monster that was eating the customers all in the same week. My situation, already less complicated. Yes, I've got this. So somehow, with Buffy's help and a lot more breakdowns and tears, I did figure out how to restart my life again. I did realize what I wanted, and it definitely wasn't graduate school or becoming a social worker. And in retrospect, I'm so glad that I didn't pay a lot of money to get a degree that wouldn't have been right for me. Most importantly, after lots of trial and error, I found myself again out in the big bad real world. And as I was thinking about all of those things during Easter, I realized that now feels like another time of rebirth, a time of needing to resurrect myself and find out who I am all over again. So that's why I chose this song and this vlog for today. I'm not sure what the next resurrection will look like, but just like the lyrics from the Prayer of St. Francis, I pray and I hope that this next resurrection will turn me into a stronger instrument of faith for the universe, just like Buffy. So I think that's all I have for today. Happy Easter. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you all have a great spring. Bye, everyone.